Now, back to obesity and health and all that. Paul Treyvaud, good morning. Thanks for waiting for me, Paul.
No problem, PJ. How are you?
Good. One of the country's leading chefs. Always good to talk to you. This new plan that Simon Harris has come up with over the next 10 years, a healthy weight for Ireland, obesity policy and action plan. And Billy Kelleher was telling me how it needs to be resourced. You've started your own little healthy plan. And first of all, you think that all of this whole obesity racket is just a con?
Nonsense. It's all nonsense. And Simon Harris is just codding everybody in the country, and actually he's codding himself as well. There is a huge elephant in the room that not a single politician has the balls to go after, and that is the global empire that is processed food. And that is the single most contributing factor to obesity. And I'll back myself up. I'm not just coming out with flippant comments. So it's not just like if you have one of these fast food burgers or if you have, say, processed ham. It's the continuous consumption of processed food that is delivering such a high rate of obesity throughout the world, not just Ireland, throughout the world.
Now, for someone who might know, I mean, it's a term you read every day. It's almost as common to read the word obesity as it is to read the words processed food. For the ignoramus who would look into their larder or their fridge, what kind of stuff are you talking about?
Well, basically, processed food means something that's put into food that's not actually food. So if you go in and get, say, into the supermarket, a packet of, say, ready-cooked chicken, there's probably about anywhere from 12 to 20 ingredients in it. Probably one or two of them are food. Now, if you cook your breast of chicken at home, there's only one ingredient in it, and have a guess what that is. It's chicken. So there's about 12, 13 preservatives, additives, flavorings, whatever you want to call it, that's pumped into it to extend the shelf life, to make it taste better. But here's what people don't know, PJ, and this is absolutely crucial that this message gets out. A lot of these, I call them poisons and toxins, call them whatever you want. A lot of these additives and preservatives are scientifically proven to cause obesity. But the greatest part, B, that most people don't realize, is they're also highly addictive. So people who are turning around and getting these cravings all the time is because what's pumped into this food, it's making you crave them. And there's a reason for that, because the guys who are pumping it into the food are making a hell of a lot of money out of it. So I'm going to give you the reason why people want, say, put funding in, and this is a massive exclusive and it's going to upset the entire corporate world. Guess what, PJ? There is no money in giving anything away for free. And that's why these guys want funding and everything pumped into obesity, combating obesity in the country. And you don't need it. And I'm proving it myself on my own Facebook page, because I said I better put my money where my mouth, or should I say, I better put my weight where my mouth is. And I'm going to show you that just how, well, it's not easy. I mean, there's an awful lot of focus and dedication into it, but I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. So I've lost a stone and almost a stone and a half in a month from doing nothing else than zero processed food, working out 6 times a week, eating sensibly 3 meals a day, and just being very focused and determined to do it. Now, probably 7 or 8 pounds of that was fluid retention, because I was hugely overweight. I was 15 and a half stone when I started this.
What height are you?
I'm about 5'8", 5'9".
You reckon that's ridiculously overweight?
Oh, absolutely, PJ. I shouldn't be. I mean, if you were to talk,
would you have considered yourself fat?
Oh, I consider myself clinically obese. And it was all around my gut. And it was on my neck, on my moobs or boobs or whatever the hell you want to call them. I was just, I woke up, I always knew it. I mean, look, there's a couple of reasons, or there's a couple of questions you got to ask yourself to solve this. So first of all, I've said it before in the show, take off all your clothes, stand in front of the mirror and ask yourself the very difficult question, am I fat or am I obese, if you want to take it to the next level? And then what's so important after that, you have to be so honest with yourself. And your answer is yes. I mean, if you're standing in the mirror the first time, it's like, you know, when you say, does my ass look big in this? If you have to ask the question, there's a good reason. It probably does. So if you're standing in front of this mirror asking yourself, am I fat? You more than likely are. And then the hardest part is you got to look in the mirror again and say to yourself, am I prepared to do whatever it takes to fix this? After that, it's actually very easy.
So what did it take you to do? Like, what do you not eat now that you ate a month ago?
Well, I tell you what I don't eat. It's normally the junk when I come home after work, you know. So you finish a busy day in the restaurant and you turn around and you say, geez, I didn't get a chance to have dinner. I'm going to have a pint or two with one of my mates. And you know what? I'm probably going to end up getting a kebab or a burger or a pizza. But, I mean, like a once off, that's fine. You know, once every fortnight or once a month, that's fine. But when you're doing it continuously, and when you wake up in the morning and you're not feeling great and you're going to go, oh, I'm just going to grab a bit of toast, or I'm just going to grab, you know, a few rashers or something like that. When you're continuously doing this, That's where this obesity doesn't happen overnight. But what's most, and I'm very lucky. I've got a great gym here beside me, Body by Finn, and I'm doing now. But I don't want people thinking, oh God, you have to go to the gym to do this. You don't. They're just helping me out. We're all kids. We all know sport, and we all know that if we walk 5-6 kilometers, 10 kilometers a day, whatever, the weight is going to fall off. But we have it all documented. The reason why I said I'm not doing it for anybody else, I'm doing it for myself. So I have it up on my Facebook page every single day as to what I'm doing, what I'm eating. And I'm not doing out the menu planning or any of that kind of stuff. And I'm not showing the actual workouts because every workout, every person needs a different kind of workout. But basically, I'm just doing fat-burning exercise.
Your central point, though, Paul, is that the industry, the obesity industry, is deliberately targeted at making us fat. And until such time as the governments cop onto that, we'll always have a problem.
Well, I tell you, PJ, it's like when you really get into the psychology, we're being subliminally brainwashed without even realizing. So every time we walk through a store, we're seeing fat-free, sugar-free, convenience. You're too busy to cook. It's constantly in our heads, and it's all lies. So if it's fat-free or if it's sugar-free, they've pumped in some of these toxins or poisons that are going to, in order to, replace the flavor of the fat. But also, what the real danger here is, PJ, is that they've allowed, over in the States, they passed laws to say that if it only contains a certain percentage of this ingredient, you don't need to call it sugar. You don't need to call it MSG. So we don't know. We're being lied to. And it's not people's fault for you to turn around and say, well, your man's fat because he eats too much. But a lot of these people are being sucked into it without even realizing what they're doing. So we're being advertised fat-free, it's healthy. It's not healthy. It's actually probably 1,000 times worse for you. So I'm eating, proper butter. There's none of this kind of, make-believe butter or any of that kind of stuff.
Hang on, we were told butter was bad for us.
Well, have a guess why now, PJ. Listen to this, right? The fat industry, or the sugar industry, spent billions on surveys and results blaming the fat industry for obesity. So the guys who are giving us these surveys, the guys who are feeding us with all this information, are the very guys who are poisoning us and killing us. Now, parents don't realize when they're continuously giving their kids this processed food, that's what's leading to obesity. That's what's leading to these heart problems, blood problems, diabetes. I'm doing stuff with Diabetes Ireland as well. When I first weighed in, I was at massive risk of diabetes. Now, I'm doing this till the end of November, 3 months, and I'm going to try and lose 2.5 to 3 stone in 3 months. And it's very doable. But the problem is again, you don't realize. So when you wake up and you give your kids cereal, you don't realize these ingredients are in it. When you give them your bread and your processed ham and your processed cheese for lunch, you don't realize that all these toxins are in the food. And you bring them home for dinner and you might throw them a quick pizza out of the freezer. You might throw them in whatever, anything that's a ready meal that's been processed. And if you do that continuously and continuously and continuously, the body cannot move this crap out of your body. And this is what's causing obesity. And everyone says, there's one guy taking on a multi-trillion-dollar business. There's no way you're going to succeed. Well, one guy took on the tobacco industry. And on the front of every packet of cigarettes, it says, consumption of this product does cause cancer. And I won't rest until I see on the front of every single processed food or packet or whatever that says, this product contains ingredients that scientifically has been proven to cause obesity. It's a monumental task. And it won't work unless more and more people get behind it. And the problem we have as well is that in this so-called health industry, which is just broad as far as I'm concerned, there's a book that was launched recently, Eat Yourself Fit. It should be banned from every single bookshop because it is impossible to eat yourself fit. Yet we champion this model who's behind it. We have it on the front page of every newspaper, every chat show, every radio station. Aren't you brilliant? You've come up with a healthy book. No, you're not. You're taking the money of vulnerable people, of young girls who turn around and say, I wish I was that beautiful too, because that's what society deems to be beautiful. And it's total and utter hogwash, fraud. Take my money. Take your money. That's all this is.
All right. Okay.
That was a big rant, was it?
That's all right, Paul. It was a good rant. It was a good rant. People can follow you on Facebook, Paul Treyvaud. And I have to say, I read the blog this morning. And I'm spend the afternoon cleaning coffee out of my keyboard. It's hilarious. So good man.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Paul. Take care. Talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's Paul Treyvaud. It's not rocket science. His blog is actually well worth a read. PaulTreyvaud.com.